This is spEarz to the streets. 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 This to the streets, to the streets, to the streets, to the This is spEarz to the streets. Get down to the beat, or get beat down in the street.
Blake Monroe and Kalani Jordan went at it in a match that was expected to see Monroe bury Jordan. But Jordan was pulling out split-legged stunners and Boston crabs to surpass Monroe's maneuvers, which were limited to close-cut strikes. Jordan took the biggest bumps, injuring her own shoulder with a high forearm that she transitioned into an angle slam and taking a headbutt on the way down from a top rope double axe handle. That was followed up with a knee to the face that rocked Jordan, but Jordan still kicked out, visibly frazzled and looking like she should have had some color flowing down her face. Monroe hoisted up Jordan for her finisher, but ended up abandoning that thought and ultimately the entire match, as Jordan Grace chased Monroe into the Florida Rain, delivering Jordan the count-out victory. This segment reminded me not to miss Florida Rain one bit. I also enjoyed the ridiculousness of Monroe having a car waiting for her to just gun it if Grace showed her face. And I love how Jordan was protected in a match she dutifully worked, even though she was predicted to lose to further Monroe's career, who still got elevated at the end of the night without burying the plucky pro wrestler made in Michigan. It seemed like NXT wanted to take a page out of TNA's book for the week because after Alumni Night, Jax squashed Thea Hall, assumedly as a sign that Hall's contract is running up since she just had a gorgeous match with Lady Bird Monroe in the Indies through King Booker's ROW. Jax called out Lash Legend in a post-match promo, prompting Lash to come out and attempt to beat the brakes off Jax after her flubbing her own end on the mic. Though Legend botched her promo, she smartly recovered by letting her fist do the talking as security ended the segment unsuccessfully breaking up the two, further pushing these tanks to a showdown at Heat Wave. Women getting chased into the ring, security getting called. That could have sealed the night for NXT, but there was still the cherry on top, the Women's North American title match. Tatum Paxley has grown obsessed over Soruka since joining the Culling and came out with a faction in her corner to support her against the double champion. In a red mini dress, the fan service was off the charts as she primarily used various neck breakers to take it to Ruka, who sported blue ring gear with a skull embroidered on her bralette, while her shorts barely contained her well-tailed black bikini strings. Ruka busied herself taking down the Culling with a backflip body slam off the top turnbuckle, having enough time to chest bump Zarya in her corner before receiving another neck breaker from Paxley upon re-entering the ring. Paxley also had an Indian deathlock spot early on that Ruka reversed, sending the audience into waves that carried into Ruka's combo offense that included chops and at one point even some sweet chin music. While Paxley was so focused on trying to break Ruka's neck with chokeholds and odd positions whenever she regained control in this bout, that missile drop neck breaker was crazy. Ruka was pulling off power bombs and spears. Despite Jax and Legend continuing their brawl from earlier in the night, spilling through the barricade as the Paxley vs. Ruka contest progressed. Paxley got distracted when a member of the Culling slid her makeshift Ruka doll. Damn, Ruka needs an elite figure today. But Ruka kept her eye on the gold, delivering her Soul Snatcher and retaining her North American title for the 108th day of her reign. This episode of NXT had everything: zaniness, action, athleticism, and some of the best pro wrestlers in the sport today, culminating with one of those very women retaining in a championship match. An extremely fresh way to invigorate WWE's women's division after coming off a SummerSlam weekend that featured nothing but sequels to storylines that were better off decided at Evolution.
This is spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. to the streets. This to the streets. To the streets. To the streets. To the streets. This is spEarz to the streets. Get down to the beat, or get beat down in the street.